Welcome. I thought tonight we'd talk about something that's been in the news a lot lately. There's been a lot of information come out and Senate hearings and whistleblowers on the government about certain topic. It's been kind of very controversial, but people have been talking about, as the news media talking about, and it's the subject of UFOs and aliens technology. The government's come out and said that we have 124 crashed vehicles in our possession, plus alien bodies. Now, that's not official. That's whistleblowers come out. But you can look for the White House eventually come out and declare we have all this technology, we have these alien bodies, we have the crashed spacecraft. And NASA has already come out and said the same thing, basically. So what is up with all these aliens and UFOs, and what does it really mean, and how should we react to that in the real world as Christians and people following the Bible? How can we understand the Bible and understand the aliens and coming to outer space and alien technology? So we're going to take a very quick look at tonight. It's a very complex story, but we're going to take a shot at. So the first off, we have to understand ancient world. The ancient world is also where we should start, because that tells us where we started, where we're going to go. So in the ancient world, when God created the world, man believed in God, man, which is one God, which is a monotheistic. God told man that that God wanted a relationship with man. Wanted a relationship. God wanted mankind to be sons and daughters. God wanted mankind to love him, respect him, and mankind to be holy like him and love one another. So this is where monotheism of God started off. God wanted this for mankind. Wanted the whole world to be like this. Have love, respect for one another, to follow basically 10 commandments and stuff. But then something happened. But before all that, sometime before the world was made and mankind be mad, something happened in heavens. That was the rebellion, and 1/3 of the heavenly host were fallen powers. Book of Revelation tells about one dragon took up 1/3 stars in heaven. So we know 1/3 of the heavenly host rebelled against God, and they were thrown down to earth. Lucifer's thrown down to earth and stuff. So mankind started with this, but then we have a problem. We have these fallen powers, and they want to be God. They want to be God. They want mankind to worship them. So they're here on earth. They want to just, but then some of them gave up their heavenly state because they had lust. And they in Genesis 6, Genesis 6 talks about that, talks about the Nephilim and what they did, and men of great and renown. And so all these fallen powers gave man knowledge, how to make iron implements. They can make, like last week the London artifact, which is made with technology that we cannot replicate today. We cannot make the same iron as in the London artifact today, but it was made back then. So they had advanced technology we don't have today in many ways. So these beings taught mankind astrology, metallurgy. They taught them how to use drugs. plants and stuff for drugs. They, they taught mankind to do all kinds of stuff because they wanted mankind to worship him and talk and to follow after them. Because then we have a problem. We have Genesis 6 talks about the Nephilim, and they were a threat, a direct threat to DNA and to human existence. So hybrids were a big threat to the human race back then. So God saw this, and saw this. There was also because of all this, there is war and bloodshed everywhere. So all this was not what God wanted. God wanted the world to have this relationship with God. He wanted love. Wanted mankind to be holy, to be a spiritual being, and to be connected with God personally. Now we have mankind rebelling against this because of the fallen ones, and they're getting advanced knowledge. It's astrology, drugs, all kinds of stuff, spells, and all kinds of things. So what happens? They start killing one another in war. Nephilim, there were cannibals eating people. This cannibalism was increasing on the earth. So it was a really nasty place. So God said, "Well, I can do something. Because I don't do something. This is not. It's going to be compromised because Jesus was supposed to be coming in the future, and if we have DNA tainted, he couldn't show up. So God flooded the world. So he erased everything back to square one. But there's a problem. These beings still exist. They were spiritual beings. They're eternal. They cannot be killed on the flood. They were not killed off in the flood. But then the Nephilim, they were not eternal. They were earthborn. The Nephilim means earthborn. So they're earthborn, but they died, and that's supposed to not be hindered. So according to a lot of information out there, the Nephilim then becomes demons. The origin of the demons is in the Nephilim. Because before the flood, demons didn't exist. After the flood, demons existed. So we have a problem here. We have the fallen powers and demons and stuff still out there. Then mankind started, after Noah started going across the world, growing a population and moving. So eventually a lot of people came to the plains of Shinar, it says, and they wanted to build a city and build a tower to the Tower of Babel. And God saw they were conspiring against him, doing all kinds of stuff to make the city and stuff. And incidentally, the word tower in the Bible back then didn't mean a tower; it meant a gateway. So they actually will build a gateway into heaven. So I'll get into that later, some other time. It's a really fascinating ideology, but these people were they wanted to rebel against God. So what God did? He dispersed them across the world. Because mankind is down now dispersed in many different languages, and mankind's confused and stuff, these powers saw opening. They go, aha! We can get mankind to worship us. We can control mankind. We can have our way with mankind. We can give them what they want, and they will worship us. Because the idea of polytheism was born. Polytheism was all about worshiping many deities like Osiris, Eni, Enku, lots of gods. The pantheon gods. Zeus and Aphrodite. There's so many polytheistic gods. So most all the religions then was born. This is where religion was born. Religion was born through polytheism. So because the religion was all about ritualism, sacrifice, blood sacrifices and stuff. It's also about channeling, getting in contact with the spirit guides. It's also about uh, nature worship, which were witchcraft. So this is a meditation as part of it. So this is all part of polytheism. This is what religion is. This is not religion. This is relationship. God wanted relationship with mankind. So monotheism is not religion necessarily. It's a relationship, what God wanted. This is the model God wanted on the earth. But man rebelled and was taken over by their lust of flesh, the desire for power, greed, money, and stuff. So they came and become polytheistic. It's like Hinduism, Taoism. Uh, it's all almost all religions in the world, except Christianity, are basically or Judaism, and it's all based on polytheism because it's based on fallen powers and stuff. So what happens is that these these people then had advanced technology. They had advanced technology. Can't write, but advanced technology. So we have lost civilizations like Atlantis and stuff had advanced technology and stuff. They could do things because they were given power and knowledge from these spiritual powers. So this is the way the world was for thousands of years. But then something happened to a modern day world. There's a guy came in power. He was a boy boisterous and very charismatic guy named Hitler. Hitler in the 1930s saw this and wanted to get this advanced technology. He wanted the Nazis to have all this information stuff. So they founded a society of a medium and stuff to channel these spiritual powers. So he came up with a society called the Vril Society. The Vril Society. The Vril Society then was using medium, spiritual guides and stuff to talk to an Aryan alien. Okay, here he comes in, and we see they're talking about this Aryan alien, giving him advanced technology. Because the Nazis had advanced technology, were seeking advanced technology, and wanted to control the world, they were using this channeling and spirit guidance through mediums and stuff and demon possession and stuff to get this information. And the Germans developed a space program back in the 1930s that was so advanced. This is mind-boggling. So, for instance, one of the things they developed was like the Hannibal 2. This is a flying saucer craft that had guns in it, capable of flight. It's not sure actually flew or not, but were working as advanced technology. So before the space program, the Germans had flying spacecraft. And these flying spacecraft, like the Hannibal 2 and the Bell Glock and other stuff, had space suits and have advanced technology and probably laser technology. So they had all these technology they got from spiritual powers. So they wanted mankind to be one race, one power, master race, to be gods into space and stuff. The Aryan alien wanted the Germans to have this power to go into space, to go to the planet Alderaan, supposedly. But all this information then was noticed to the United States government. So the United States government wanted this advanced technology. You saw the Foo Fighters and stuff. This is all based on this advanced technology that these fallen powers were given to Nazi Germany. So the U.S. government wanted this power. They wanted these rockets. They wanted this information. So they had developed a program called Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip was supposed to be bring all these scientists like Werner von Braun and other people over to give us information by rockets. But when they came over here, they also brought their knowledge with the rockets and advanced technology, but they also brought their spiritual beliefs and spiritual practices in channeling and what all their spiritual rituals they're doing. They brought this also with them also, so it continued on. So the United States government started saying all this and go, aha, we can get advanced technology and stuff if we follow these rituals and stuff, and it started doing all this demonic stuff and satanic worship and Alexander Crowley stuff. They wanted to all get all this technology. So what happened is these people, these scientists, started to indoctrinate the space program stuff with these rituals and stuff. So the space program is actually many times based on different religious viewpoints and practices and channeling and even with the Masons and 33 degree and stuff. It's a really complicated system of corruption and spiritual corruption and the space program. So we have all this talking about the aliens today. So what is going on with the UFOs and aliens? Why is the government coming out and talking about it? What's going on about it? Why now, of all these years? Because the government is up to something. They don't disclose anything and talk about anything unless they have a purpose and reason. Because they don't want their secrets out. We have a space program that's 10 times more powerful than NASA even thought about. It's supposed to be called Solar Warden. And one thing I did was looking through declassified documents, and I found declassified documents talking about spaceships and Solar Warden. And there's even a video, it's an interesting video online, which shows a committee meeting from senators. They were talking about funding the spaceships. So the U.S. government is not being forthright and honest when it comes to what they're doing. So what spaceships and stuff like that came out this week, whistleblowers, a lot of the technology we've gotten and stuff, the UFOs you see in the sky, they're saying they're aliens and stuff. They're not aliens. They're us. They're the U.S. government. A lot of the triangles and stuff like TBR3, they are triangles and stuff. They are not alien. They're the United States government. So a lot of this top secret stuff is now supposed to be coming out. So they're trying to use this information to lock people down, maybe conduct a false flag incident, the people have been talking about. So whistleblowers have been talking about also the false flag information and so a fake alien invasion. There's a lot of the corruption now being exposed. But the problem is, why is the connection to all these UFOs and aliens? Because all this is connected to demons and fallen powers. And the government's been playing games with powers that they don't understand. See, they tell you anything that's not human is alien. Because, it's not human, it's alien. When it may not be alien. Just because it's not human doesn't mean that's alien. There are other powers and beings out there that can imitate aliens and stuff. So there's no reason to think that these aliens, so-called aliens, are actual aliens. So we have to look at the big picture here. Big picture is God wants mankind to follow the pattern of holiness, righteousness, and love and peace. But the fallen ones want to destroy mankind. So you have a choice in your life. You're going to belong to this group and be in spiritual war against this group, or you can be in this group and war against this group. So you can be for God or against God. There's no other choice. Because all this LGBT and homosexual stuff is all also tied into polytheism, and it's also tied into lust of the flesh and all this debauchery and stuff that these fallen powers are trying to get mankind to follow. So all this ancient world stuff, the days of Noah, is all coming back around. So what was in the past is now in the present. So we're now living in the time we have a lot of the same conditions that Noah was facing that we are now experiencing in the world today. So we have all these different groups trying to jockey power. They want to legalize pedophilia. They want to they wanted to basically legalize and make us the world a crooked, corrupt, evil society they can control. They wanted a society for Antichrist to come in and control the world. So this is all setting up to be great. It's called the Great Reset. They want to bring in and reset the world with this technology and stuff. So we have to understand, just because it doesn't appear to be human or appear of not this world, doesn't mean it really is. So you got to be careful what you believe. You got to stick with what the truth is. The book, like the book in Ephesians says, the battle on earth is not against flesh and blood, but spiritual powers in heavenly places. So the Bible tells us that we are at war against wickedness and power and the celestial in space. So all this is all coming back to Ephesians chapter 6, what Paul's talking about. So you have a choice. You can follow God, which has the promise of eternal life, or you can follow this or eternal damnation because you're rebelling against the truth and holiness. You can't be holy and go to heaven if you're following this debauchery and lifestyle and rituals and channeling, meditation, all this supposedly New Age stuff. But they call it New Age, but there's no such thing as New Age. It's all old age. Everything is going on today has begun over for thousands of years on earth. So there's nothing new. So we have to look at our lives and make a decision. Are we going to follow Christ? Or are we going to follow politicians and scientists and all these people that want this kind of world with all this debauchery and bloodshed and war and destruction? So we have a choice to make. What is your choice? This week I want you to think about spiritual warfare and where you fit in. And remember, wherever you live and what you do, God was always there and He loves you. May God bless you and guide you. Peace.